What's good guys, my name is Oleg Nikitin and you're welcome to my tech kitchen. You're watching No Limits On channel, and today I have a review of 6 different gimbals or stabilizers for your smartphones. Let's go. So these gimbals are from 50 bucks to around 120 bucks. So now let's find out what's on the table and see all the benefits, the disadvantages, the nuances, the comparison. It's a lot of work, guys. Let's go. So now guys, about the system I'm using to kind of range those gimbals. I've made a spreadsheet with all of those 6 gimbals and I ranked them from the first place to the sixth place. So the first place gets 6 points and the last place gets 1 point. And also I've added some extra points for, you know, good app or for the bag inside of the kit and all that stuff. So we'll start with this gimbal, which is the Snoppa Atom. Actually, this tripod is from DJI Ronin S. As you can see, this doesn't come with a tripod, but I'll be using my tripod just so it's working properly. And I'll be using those gimbals with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It's the biggest, the heaviest, and the most advanced phone out there, you know, most common phone. So we'll be testing with this phone and maybe with the iPhone 8 for some weaker gimbals if they don't manage to actually handle the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So guys, now let's start off with using this gimbal. First of all, we have to unlock all of the locking mechanisms, and then we put our iPhone 12 Pro Max right here. So it's facing left, the cameras are facing left. So we put it right here and we slide the phone until we find the balance. Here it is, it's that simple. We can actually pan and tilt with it. When we hit the button, we get only the pan but not the tilt axis. And also you can use it in the, you know, story mode, vertically or horizontally, and it has some more interesting features in it. But let's go one by one. I have a list of features and we'll get different numbers, different points for each feature, and overall I'll do it with all of the gimbals. My impressions about this one: it's a pretty sturdy gimbal, but it costs more than the others. The only disadvantage, at least for me, is that I'm not able to clip the microphone right here, because when I attach the microphone, first we lose the balance, and then if we direct it like so, it sticks, kind of, you know, the motors are hitting the microphone, so it's not gonna take the microphone. It costs around 120 bucks and it gets only 1 point from me because it's the most expensive among all of those, and you can actually buy the DJI Osmo Mobile 3 for this amount of money. And now the weight. Also 1 point for this Atom gimbal, Snoppa Atom, because it weighs 440 grams. It's a pretty bulky and heavy, even for using with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Also for this size, when it's folded and when it's unfolded, I give it only 2 points. But in terms of weight capacity, it is a monster. It can handle 310 grams with ease, and I actually confirmed that it can handle the iPhone 12 Pro Max with the microphone attached with no issues at all, so I'm pretty satisfied with the result. So 6 points for the weight capacity and 3 more points for the ability to handle the iPhone 12 Pro Max. But unfortunately it gets 0 points for handling the iPhone 12 Pro Max with the microphone, because when you attach it, it just sticks right here and you cannot use it properly. So it's not the best vlogging solution, but it has a different thing. You can actually attach a microphone right here, the mini jack to the handle, and then you can use the special cable, the mini jack to mini jack, through the adapter to the iPhone, and you can actually plug this in and plug it right here. Okay, so we've entered the Snoppa app and you can see this little microphone sign right here on the screen recording, and it means that we are now recording the sound. If we hit the record button, we can actually see that it's recording. 1, 2, mic check, 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 check. And the sound goes from this microphone to the phone. But it has some weird issues. You can hear some noise right here because it just records it. I'm not sure if it's this particular item, this model, or whatever. I'm in the airplane mode, so no interference should be here, but it's just not working properly. Maybe it will be fixed in the future firmware, maybe it is an issue with my unit, but it is what it is. So the working time is 24 hours according to Snoppa. I'm not really sure about 24 hours, but it's a pretty big battery inside. It has 2000 milliamp hours and it gets 6 points from me for this. Actually, unfortunately, it has no tripod feet. You have to buy it separately, so there is no points for that. But it has the joystick, and the joystick works in any direction, and it's pretty responsive and it's nice to the touch, so 1 more point for the joystick. The phone charging, it can actually charge your phone via the cable. It has 3 cables in the kit, the micro USB, the Type-C and the lightning cable. But also when you hit and press and hold this button, so it has wireless charging built into this part of the gimbal, which is very nice because when it's cold, the iPhones and the phones in general, they tend to lose power pretty fast, and this feature is very nice. With using this thing, probably it's not going to last for a very long time, for 24 hours, but at least there is such a feature and I do enjoy using it. So 3 points for charging. The build quality, it's made out of plastic, but it feels nice in the hands. Nothing is wiggling, and for me it's a 7 out of 10 points in terms of build quality, and it gets 5 points for my list. And now the quality of stabilization. I did a test, we did it with the trigger, without any movements, with the pan follow mode, with running, with selfies, and with tracking, and here are the results. So for the quality of stability, I give it 5 points. It is a 3-axis gimbal, and I give all of the 3-axis gimbals 6 points. And now about the app itself. It calls Snoppa, and it's a pretty outstanding app actually. When we go to the menu, we can choose the frame rate, the video codec, the video quality, the grid, which is nice by the way. We can choose whether it's zoom and focus, is it slow, if it's medium. We can hit even the anamorphic lens mode for de-squeezing the picture. Also, we can choose from the ultra-wide lens, and we can choose here the normal one. And even we can choose the tele lens. So it's a nice addition. You don't need to leave the app to actually use this with the iPhone 12 Pro Max or any phone with more than 1 camera. Also, we have here the beauty filter. Look how sexy I am right now. So smooth. Not using it anytime, anywhere. So also we can scroll through the video mode, the time-lapse mode, the motion time-lapse mode, the object tracking, the face tracking. I'll tell you about the tracking a little bit in a few moments, the slow-mo feature, and the video once again. And actually you can record, and you can see the audio levels right here on the device itself. I mean on the screen itself, which is nice, and it shows you the time and the frame rate and the quality. Also, when you go to the gimbal settings, you can actually choose from walk to run and actually customize it as you want. And you can choose the side key to be the adjustments of the focus or the zoom rocker. And you can customize all of the buttons the way you want to. And actually you can use the manual mode, which is right here. And you can set your ISO, shutter, focus, and white balance manually, which is a great addition in my opinion. And then when you go to general settings, you can also go to learn how to use it, and you'll be relinked to the Atom website. And here are some video tutorials how to use this thing actually. And it's very helpful, very easy to watch, easy to use. A big thumbs up for this to Snoppa Atom. Also, you can calibrate this gimbal, so if you have some issues, you can properly calibrate it with this phone. And even you can use the grid right here. You have none or thirds or rule of thirds with diagonal lines. As a bonus feature, it has the active track mode. When you hit, then hit and press the trigger. So overall, it's a pretty nice app, and I give it 6 points and even 2 additional points for all of those features. Very nice work. Also, it has a bag in the kit. This bag is very nice, and we give it 2 points for the bag. And the last thing, but not the least, the tracking capabilities. Here is the video we shot together with my girlfriend Katyusha, and you can now see the results. I give the tracking ability 3 points. So the next gimbal is from Zhiyun. I'ma call it Zhiyun. And it costs around $80. It's a pretty nice gimbal, but it has only 2 axes, so it's not a 3-axis gimbal. It can actually stabilize in this axis and this axis. And it can handle the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is nice. 4 points for the price. Then it gets for me 4 points for the weight, because it weighs 246 grams. And it's a pretty lightweight and convenient, and it can fold in a very small piece. So for the size of it, when it's folded and unfolded, it gets 3 points from me. In terms of weight capacity, they say that it can handle 225 grams. And actually it can really handle the iPhone 12 Pro Max, even with my Comica microphone right here. And it holds it pretty nicely. And I give 5 points. Also, I give 3 points to any gimbal that can handle the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and 1 more point, actually even 2 more points, for handling this with the microphone itself, because other gimbals, because of the construction, they cannot carry the microphone also. So this is a great vlogging solution, but it's not the best in terms of stabilization, and I'm gonna tell you in a little bit how it performs in this term. But also you cannot rotate it, because you see it's not working this way, so only horizontally, so 2 points for this. The battery life is 5.5 hours or 1000 milliamp hours, which is okay for most cases, and I guess with the 12 Pro Max and the microphone the lifetime can be a little shorter. It lacks the mini tripod, but it has the joystick, and if you press it down, you can see that it changes the roll axis, and it's pretty convenient to make sure that your horizon is leveled when you go left and right. It simply goes left and right. So 1 more point for the joystick. Unfortunately, this gimbal cannot charge your phone in any possible way, so no points here. The build quality is on par, guys. I give this 9 out of 10. And I'm really enjoying using it. It's a plastic, but it's a very nice plastic. The telescopic handle is also very good, so I give it 6 points for the build quality. But the quality of stabilization is only 3 points, or you can say 5 out of 10. Here's the test we did with my girlfriend, and actually I'm pretty disappointed with the results. You have to have pretty stable hands and walk properly to get nice results from this gimbal. As I said, this is only a 2-axis gimbal, so it gets 4 points because of the 2 axes, so 6 points for 3 axes, 4 points for 2 axes, and 2 points for 1 axis. Only 4 points for this one. Pretty complicated, right? So now let's talk about the app. The app is pretty okay and I like it. You can have here some automatic adjustments or manual adjustments for your shutter, ISO, white balance and so on. you can actually go here to choose for running or walking. Sorry for the Russian, but it's just in Russian right here. You can choose the speed of the joystick, the speed of your zoom rocker. Is it slow? Is it fast? Also, you can inverse your joystick and you can calibrate it also as well. You can set the guidelines. For instance, you can do it like so, like diagonals, change the white balance. As you can see, let's leave it on auto. And you have here the video mode, the photo mode, the live for, streaming on different platforms, the smart modes. They are okay, but I don't really use those. You have the pano, you have the slow motion, you have the time-lapse and the hyperlapse modes, so it's pretty impressive. You can choose here from 1080p or 720 for hyperlapse, and if you go to the regular video mode, you can choose up to 4K 60. But this does not do, you see, the tracking is only in 1080 30p. And it doesn't really work in 4K, and it's a pain, guys. And also it has, let me switch the camera to here. Also it has some pretty funny little, masks. You see how skinny I am right now? Or you can make your eyes bigger, like so. So it's just, for fun. It also doesn't work in 4K. So it's not very convenient actually, guys, so I don't use this at all. All in all, it's a good app. You can also use the gestures, like you're waving or showing like this, and it will start recording or take the picture, but it's more like amateur things. This app even contains the editing software. I didn't try it, but it does contain it, so why not? But the biggest pain in the ass for me is that you cannot choose the focal length of your iPhone 12 Pro Max. You just stuck to the main camera or to the selfie camera, and if you want to use the ultra wide or the telephoto lens, you have to go to the native camera app of the iPhone. So all in all, this app gets 5 points from me, and also 2 additional points for all this, finicky, funny stuff with the mask and all that. It has a pretty nice and big telescopic arm, and you can actually tilt it like so. So it's pretty usable. Here's my microphone and the top camera. Power. This gimbal doesn't have a bag in the kit. The kit is pretty straightforward, the gimbal itself and the charging cable, so no more extra points here. And the tracking. There is tracking, it's working pretty nicely, but not in 4K, so for me it's kind of useless and it gets only 2 points from me. So it's a wrap with the Zhiyun Smooth X. Guys, what is the name of your company? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below how to pronounce this name, and we're moving on to the Feiyu Tech gimbals. So guys, here we have the Feiyu Tech Vimble 2S Steadicam or gimbal, and it's a pretty big one and a pretty nice one. So let's start off with the pricing. It costs around $100, which is okay, 2 points for the price. Then the weight, it weighs 428 grams and it gets also 2 points for the weight. Then for the size, it's a pretty bulky construction and it's the biggest among all of my gimbals that I'm reviewing right now, so it gets only 1 point for the size. Then we're moving on to the weight capacity. It can handle 200 grams. It's a big one, but it can handle only 200 grams, so we can set 4 points for this weight capacity. And then for the iPhone 12 Pro Max, as you can see, it can handle this phone 3 additional points. Then we go to the iPhone 12 Pro Max with the microphone, but we cannot put the microphone in any way to this gimbal, so it gets 0 points. No way you can put the mic here, because it's simply blocked by the motor. If we slide the iPhone to the side, it won't handle this properly, it will be unbalanced, and that is why no microphone here. A bad solution for vlogging if you are a vlogger. The battery is for 12 hours of use, and actually it features 1300 milliamp hours, so it gets 5 points for the battery. It does have the mini tripod. It's a very small one, but it does what it has to do. And actually it also features the joystick. You can use it in all the ways, so 1 more point for the joystick. It actually can charge your phone with the cable, but with the iPhone 12 Pro Max it's impossible. With the iPhone 8 it's okay. So if you have a smaller phone, this can charge your phone. The build quality. Well, actually it's a very plasticky gimbal, and I can put something like 6 out of 10 for the build quality, and I can give 3 points for the build quality to this gimbal. The quality of stabilization is 7 out of 10. Here is our test. And actually I can give 5 points to this gimbal in terms of stabilization. Only the Snoppa Atom is better in terms of stabilization among those gimbals. It has 3 axes, it's a 3-axis gimbal, so 6 points for the 3 axes. And now let's move on to the app. The app is okay, but you cannot choose the different focal length, only the main camera of the iPhone 12 Pro Max, no wide angle, no telephoto, so you can use the regular app to use those focal length, but here only the selfie camera and the normal camera. Here we have different modes such as time-lapse, dolly zoom, motion lapse, regular video, slow motion, and even the light trail with the long exposure modes. Also, you can go here to choose the timer. You can get some, beauty presets. I'm not using those. You can use the flash, you can use the grid. Also the HDR, which is not working actually. You can have some filters, the gestures. You can show something like that. It will start recording. You can go to more settings. You can turn on the professional mode. It's in Russian, but you get the point. And you can actually choose your ISO value, you can choose your white balance, you can choose your exposure value, so you got me, guys. Also, you can here set the shutter sound if you need to. You can choose the quality of your video, let it be 4K 60. You can use the tracking mode. We'll talk a little bit about the tracking in a few seconds, but actually it does have the tracking, but no, it's not properly working. Let me say it will be staying like this. So the app is 6 out of 10, it's okay, and I give 3 points for the app. And by the way, when you hit the record button, you can see the audio levels, the quality, the frame rate, and the amount of gigabytes left after you've pressed record, which is a nice function. 1 more point for that. Also, it features a telescopic arm. It's a pretty sturdy one and a big one, so it's nice for taking, selfie stick kind of portraits or something, so it's a nice feature also. And now about the bag. Actually, it's not a bag, it's a case made out of foam. It's a pretty bulky and big one, so I'm not gonna be using this one, but we'll give it a 1 point just for the effort. And here's our test of tracking. It tracks pretty nicely, and I can give it 4 points. And now let's move on to the smaller brother, Feiyu Tech Vlog Pocket. It's just a much smaller version of this gimbal, without the zoom rocker and without some extra buttons, only with the trigger and 2 buttons, the record and the mode and turn on, turn off. Let's see what it can and cannot do. It costs around 80 bucks, the same price as the Zhiyun Smooth X. I'm messing around with the names already, and I give 4 points for the price. Now for the size and weight. It weighs 272 grams, 3 points for the weight. And for the size, it gets 4 points because it folds very compactly, nicely, and I just enjoy using this small form factor. Then let's move on to the weight capacity. It can handle the 240 grams, actually 40 grams more than its bigger brother, this Feiyu Tech gimbal. I'm not sure if it is, but it said on their website, and 3 points for the weight capacity. Actually, it's working with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, but once I got the motors overload, so that is why it's not 3 points, but 2 points, but also 2 extra points for using it with the microphone. So actually it can handle the microphone and the iPhone 12 Pro Max, but be careful not to get the motors overload. The battery type, as you can see, it's overloaded right here, so maybe it's not, you know, a perfect combo. Hey, are you live? Let's turn it on once again. Yeah, it's working right now. So guys, just maybe you don't have to use it with the microphone. So let's move on to the battery life. 8 hours of battery life as estimated on the website, and the 1300 milliamp hours battery, the same as in here in the bigger brother. And I can set 4 points for this battery life. It does have a mini tripod, 1 extra point for this, but it doesn't have the joystick, so only 2 buttons here and the trigger here, so no points for the absence of the joystick. It cannot charge your phone in any way, so 0 points for that. But the build quality is actually better than its bigger brother. I do enjoy using this gimbal more, and I can give actually it's 4 points for the build quality. So the quality of stabilization, let's watch the video first. So guys, as you might see, now the microphone from Comica is hanging from the side of the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and the Feiyu Tech Vlog Pocket gimbal is doing okay, even with this heavy setup. So some gimbals can actually use the microphones, as you see right here, and it's a good vlogging solution. So I can give 6 out of 10 for the quality of stabilization, or 4 points. It's a 3-axis gimbal, so that is why I give 6 additional points for 3-axis stabilization. The app is exactly the same as in the bigger brother right here, so I'm not gonna be talking about it anymore. You can, you know, rewind and watch it once again if you're interested. But it's a nice app, you know, it's working, and I give 3 points for the app and 1 more point for the gigabyte estimate that is left when you hit the record button. That's a nice feature. It doesn't have the telescopic arm whatsoever, so 0 points here. And now we can look at the bag that comes in the kit. It's made out of velvet. It's very nice to touch, pretty soft one. I guess it will protect it nicely, so 2 points for the bag. I guess it's the best bag among all of those gimbals. And now let's move on to the tracking options. Here is the video about the tracking. And I can definitely say that it's worth 4 extra points for the tracking abilities. And now guys, let's move on to a much more simple gimbals, such as this little Momax. But it's white, and my daughter loves this color. So guys, here we have the Momax gimbal. And now it's turned on. But actually with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, it cannot keep the horizon leveled. It's like tilted to the side all the time, and it has no calibration, no app, nothing. So it's just working like so. You can move it to vertical position by just tilting it, or to the horizontal position. So let's start with the pricing. It costs around 50 bucks, which is okay, 6 points for that, the cheapest gimbal among all of those 6 gimbals. Then the weight is 230 grams, 5 points for that, and the size of it is pretty small, it's very compact, so 4 points for the size. But this is it. No more advantages, only the disadvantages, guys. So if you're interested, they say that it can handle 400 grams, which is a fail and a fake, because it's not true. Actually, it's just not properly handling the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So only 1 point for that. It cannot handle the iPhone 12 Pro Max properly, 0 points for this. Then the iPhone 12 Pro Max with a microphone, yeah, actually probably you can do this, but it's not properly working. As you can see, it's just, falling down. But if we move it a little bit to the side, maybe it's working, but still not keeping the horizon leveled. That is why only 1 point for this. The battery life is only 2 hours and it has 450 milliamp hours. 1 point for that. It does have the mini tripod, which is built into the handle. Okay, 1 point for that, but no joystick or some buttons, so 0 points for that. Of course, you cannot charge your phone via this gimbal, 0 points. The build quality is actually very poor, so 2 out of 10 and 1 point for the build quality. The quality of stabilization is also very poor. Here's our test. And actually I can give only 1 point for the stabilization of this Momax gimbal. It has no app, 0 points, but it has at least 1 axis of stabilization, so 2 points for 1 axis stabilization. A poor one, but it is there. But it does feature the telescopic arm. Actually, it's more of a selfie stick than a gimbal, in my opinion. So 2 points for the telescopic arm. Some additional features, yeah, it does have the Bluetooth shutter release button. You can take a picture or start recording with this one. It's detachable, so 0.5 points for this one. It doesn't have a bag in the kit, and of course it doesn't have the tracking abilities. So I guess it's, a pretty childish thing. Not worth the money. You better add a little bit and buy something like the Zhiyun or something like the Atom from Snoppa if you get a little bit more cash. So guys, we're finally here. It's getting pretty long, So this is the Sirui, yeah, that's exactly how it pronounces, Sirui. So it costs around $85 to $90, which is okay, 5 points for the price. It weighs 145 grams and it gets 6 points for the weight, because when you detach the tripod and the ball head, it actually becomes very, very small and very lightweight. 5 points for the size. The weight capacity is 250 grams and it gets 2 points for that. It can handle the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I'm not sure if it's, very strong connection, and the horizon is also tilting from time to time, so 2 points for that. And actually you can attach the microphone to the side of your iPhone and it will be stabilizing. But as you can see, sometimes it's too heavy and hard for this, so 1 point for that. The battery life is 3 hours or 1000 milliamp hours, so 2 points for the battery life. It does feature the mini tripod, it's a very nice one actually, and it doesn't feature the joystick, so 1 point for the tripod. Of course, it cannot charge your phone. Who would have thought? The build quality is, a 3 out of 10, I guess. It's better than the Momax, but still it's very plasticky. The stability, here is the test. Actually, it's 3 out of 10 for stability, it's better than the Momax, so we'll give it 2 points. It's a one-axis gimbal only, so 2 points for one axis. Of course, it doesn't have an app, so 0 points here, but it does feature the telescopic arm and the ball head, which is nice. You can do it like so and be a super duper vlogger. Do you say duper? We say whatever. Some other benefits, it's a very funny one. It does have a flashlight. Huh! You can do some selfies in the dark. And it has different modes actually. Pretty stupid to be honest. And it has a mirror, as you can see. Can you see it? Yeah, it has a mirror. Here is the screen. So it's not really usable because you're very big in the side of this mirror, but for the idea I can give half a point for this one. And as far as the bag goes, we have the very cheap one made of nylon, I guess, so half a point for the bag also. And of course it doesn't have the tracking abilities, so it's more of a selfie stick as well as the Momax. Whew, guys, here it is. So guys, the conclusion. Of course, the biggest Feiyu Tech is not for me because of the size, and the Sirui and the Momax are just the selfie sticks. So I do enjoy using 2 of those. They're the same pricing, around 100 bucks, actually less, 80 bucks. The Zhiyun is a very good one, but it has only 2 axes and no tripod fit, so that is why I would prefer this one if you use a smaller phone, something like 12 or 12 mini or iPhone 8 or SE. It's a good one because it folds, it has some locking mechanisms, and it's just a very nice small package. And it weighs not too much, and the stability and the app is very nice, so pay attention to this little gimbal. If you have something around 120 bucks, you can also look at this Snoppa Atom with a very nice app, but you can also, for the same amount of cash, buy the DJI Osmo Mobile 3. So you can watch some reviews of the DJI and decide for yourself whether the Snoppa is better. But it doesn't have the tripod feet, you have to buy it separately, and you definitely need those for some time lapses and all that stuff. And the build quality of Zhiyun is very nice. I do enjoy it, and it was very fun to use together with my daughter, you know, all those masks and all that stuff. It's just a nice thing to use. I do enjoy using this one also. So guys, this is my verdict. I'd prefer this one or this one or this one, depending on your budget. And I hope I helped you a lot in choosing the gimbal for your smartphone. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please smash the like and subscribe buttons, as I say in my videos. Also hit the notifications bell to watch more of my videos. Check out the video about the microphones for your smartphones. It's actually also a very interesting one. The link is here and in the description below. And I'll see you in the next video on my tech kitchen. This was Oleg Nikitin and No Limits On. Take care, guys. Bye.